بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نكمل كلام على الجزء الفولاتايل اويل. The bicyclic alcohol, borneol and isoborneol. The borneol is naturally occurring, exists either D or L form. The D-borneol isolated from dry palynomus oil, L-borneol and its acetate ester isolated from pinus polyesters. The borneol exists as solid white crystals, while isoborneol doesn't exist in nature and formed during isolation of borneol. Borneol isolated from pine oil by saponification of the oil with sodium hydroxide, then fractional distillation of the saponified oil, collecting the fraction 205 to 215. The collected fraction is cooled to -10, where borneol crystal is separated, which can be purified by preparation of acid phthalate ester. The borneol resisting dehydrating agent and can be oxidized into camphor by treatment with or distillation over copper oxide. Preparation of hydrogen halide will produce the corresponding borneol halide as borneol chloride or borneol bromide, while also borneol chloride can be prepared by treating the alpha-pinene with hydrogen chloride in chloroform, as we discussed before in preparation of camphor from alpha-pinene. Treatment of borneol with sodium hypochlorite in acetic acid will convert borneol into camphor. Reduction of the produced camphor with sodium borohydride in methanol will produce isoborneol. So conversion of borneol into isoborneol through oxidation to camphor and reduction to isoborneol. Mixture of borneol and isoborneol can be separated by formation of the solid camphene product by treatment with mixture of zinc chloride and benzene or the other dehydrating agent as benzoic acid, where isoborneol is easily dehydrated to camphene than borneol. So isoborneol will form the acid camphene first, leaving borneol in oil. The ester of the formed ester can be regenerated by hydrolysis with sodium hydroxide. Then borneol is purified through crystallization with phthalate ester. So the mixture is treated with zinc chloride and benzene, where isoborneol will form solid camphene derivative. Separating this crystal by filtration and treatment of the left borneol with acid phthalate to form phthalate ester. Also borneol known as borneo camphor, as it can be oxidized into camphor, and reduction of camphor will produce borneol, also as its odor of camphoraceous odor of borneol. Borneol can be sensitized by reduction of camphor, as we said. Uses: borneol used in preparation of room spray and domestic product as soap and in technical preparation, and preparation of camphor by oxidation. Second bicyclic monoterpene alcohol is fenchol. It exists in basil, oil, fennel, and caraway. It's isolated from basil oil. It could be considered as an isomer of borneol due to similarity or the rearrangement of the dimethyl from the bridged carbon in borneol. Isolated by steam distillation, used in perfume industry, and it has antioxidant activity and analgesic. Tricyclic sesquiterpene alcohol, alpha santalol, isolated from sandalwood oil by fractional distillation of sandalwood in vacuum. The alpha santalol also has urinary tract antiseptic activity as santalene, the tricyclic sesquiterpene constituent. Aromatic alcohol with benzyl alcohol. Either benzyl alcohol or its ester benzyl acetate exist in jasmine oil. Benzyl benzoate and benzyl cinnamate exist in balsams and in storax. Isolated through formation of crystalline addition product with anhydrous calcium chloride in ether. The alcohol is regenerated from the formed crystalline product by treatment with hot water. Benzyl alcohol easily oxidizes on exposure to air into benzaldehyde and further into benzoic acid. Benzyl alcohol used in perfume industry as an fixative and diluent agent, also used in cosmetic and soap preparations. Estimation of the alcohol content in volatile oils can be done by ester formation of the terpene alcohol with acetic anhydride or phthalic anhydride. The formed ester is saponified with standard alcoholic potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, which is then back titrated against standard hydrochloric acid. Blank experiment should be done. As for tertiary alcohol, can be determined through special techniques to avoid rearrangement and dehydration when treating or when forming the derivative of the tertiary alcohol. These techniques include acetylation method, acetyl chloride, dimethyl method, or dehydration method. Determination of the tertiary alcohol by acetylation method or acetyl chloride dimethyl method or through dehydration method. Acetylation of the tertiary alcohol or the oil rich in tertiary alcohol by dilution of the oil with xylene in 1:4 proportion or with turpentine oil in 1:5 proportion. Then adding acetic anhydride and heat on water bath at 40 where the acetyl derivative is formed within 5 to 7 hours. The formed ester is saponified with non-excess of standard alcoholic potassium hydroxide, which is also back titrated against standard hydrochloric acid. The acetyl chloride dimethyl the dried oil, means the oil without any moisture content, is treated with dimethyl acetyl chloride and acetic anhydride and heated on water bath at 40 degrees for about 3 hours. Wash the acetylated oil and determine the ester value by running saponification with non-excess of standard alcoholic potassium hydroxide followed by the back titration. If the amount, or we know that the amount of tertiary alcohol is high, the oil rich in tertiary alcohol is treated with dehydrating agent as zinc chloride, and the amount of water liberated is equivalent to amount of tertiary alcohol exists in the oil. Second class of oxygenated constituent of volatile oil is aldehyde with citronellal. Citronellal is acyclic monoterpene aldehyde, exists in citronella oil or eucalyptus oil, known as citronellal or rhodinal, isolated through preparation of the crystalline bisulfite derivative and regenerated the formed bisulfite crystal by treating with alkaline carbonate. So oil treated with sodium bisulfite, citronellal bisulfite derivative will formed and precipitated, collected by filtration, treated with sodium carbonate or potassium carbonate to regenerate citronellal. The citronellal have reactive ethylene linkage and aldehyde functional group, so can be decomposed easily on exposure to sunlight and atmospheric oxygen. Long storage of citronellal or oil rich in citronellal causes resinification, so oil should be stored as the bisulfite derivative, bisulfite, to stabilize or to protect the citronellal exist in the oil. This is lemongrass herb rich in citronellal Citronellal used in preparation of artificial citrus flavor on cosmetic and in soap and detergent preparation. It has strong insect repellent, especially mosquito. It has antifungal activity and strong surface cleansing agent as it has anti-germ or anti-airborne pathogen protecting activity, used in aromatherapy and in massage as a relaxant, used for sterilization, surface sterilization, and it has mild anti-inflammatory activity and antimicrobial activity. Another aldehyde is citral. Citral and citronellal, here there is an addition double bond. Citral or limonal is either of a pair with a formula C10H16O. So that's also a cyclic monoterpene aldehyde. It exists in two forms, either E form or trans known as geranial or citral, and Z form or cis known as neral or citral B. Each of the two forms, either E form or Z form, also exist in two isomeric forms, that rearrangement of the double bond. Citral A or geranial, here the ethylene position of the ethylene, and other form of geranial or citral A. Citral is isolated from lemongrass oil and other plants of the genus Sympapogon. Also exist in lemon oil and in orange oil. Isolated by addition of sodium bisulfite to lemongrass oil, the bisulfite crystals are separated, washed with alcohol or ether, and then treated with sodium hydroxide to liberate citral, which is purified by steam distillation in vacuum. Separating mixture of citral A and citral B, the two forms, the E and Z form of citral. Through formation of bisulfite, where citral A is forming insoluble bisulfite crystal and citral B forming soluble bisulfite crystal. So addition of sodium bisulfite, both of the two forms will react forming the bisulfite derivative, but citral A is insoluble while citral B is soluble. Crystals are filtered, washed with ethanol, and regenerated by treatment with sodium hydroxide, followed by distillation in vacuum. Activity or uses of citral: it has antimicrobial activity, used in perfume for scent of citrus flavor. It is also used as insect repellent. It has 6 pheromone activity as it's secreted by male butterfly to attract females. Used in the synthesis of vitamin A, ionone, and methyl ionone. Citral treatment with acetone will produce pseudoionone. Cyclization produce alpha ionone and beta ionone in the synthesis of vitamin A. Products containing citral in perfumes, insect repellents, and the pheromone activity. Aromatic aldehyde, cumin aldehyde, monoterpene aromatic aldehyde exists in cumin oil, isolated by steam distillation. Used in perfume and cosmetic preparation. The thiocyanocarbazone derivative of cumin aldehyde has strong antiviral activity. Cumin aldehyde on animal test showed inhibitory activity against Ratlins aldose reductase and alpha glucosidase enzymes, which protect from cataract formation during diabetes. This actions suggest cumin aldehyde as potential drug in diabetic treatment. Ketone, constituent of volatile oil with carvone, exists in caraway oil and dill. We have two mirror image enantiomers of carvone as an R and S forms. The S carvone has caraway-like odor. The R carvone has spearmint-like odor. The dextroform obtained pure by fractional distillation of caraway oil, followed by addition of sodium sulfite solution, then neutralized with sodium hydroxide and shake with ether. The separated aqueous layer containing the sulfite derivative of carbon is treated with sodium hydroxide to liberate carbon, which is purified by steam distillation in vacuum. The levoform isolated from spearmint oil by forming addition product with hydrogen sulfide, decomposed by addition of potassium hydroxide in alcohol or in ethanol, then followed by steam distillation for purification. Chemical properties of carbon depend on the presence of two double bonds and the ketone function groups. These three double bonds can produce different hydrogenation products according to the reagent used. Catalytic hydrogenation over nickel oxide or over palladium will produce carbomenthol and carbamenthone. Treatment with zinc in acetic acid will produce dihydrocarbon derivative, reduction of one double bond. Reduction with propanol and aluminum isoperoxide will produce carviol, reduction of the ketone functional group, or treatment with sodium borohydride and selenium chloride produce carviol. Treatment with zinc in acetic acid will produce limonene. The oxidation reaction of carbon oxidized in presence of alkaline reagent as barium hydroxide to the diketone derivative, oxidized with hydrogen peroxide into compound 8 with ozone, followed by steaming, will give dilactone derivative. This is the first product with ozone. Treatment with steam will give product dilactone product. Addition of potassium permanganate will give oxidation product of 10. Carbon used as food flavoring agent. The R-carbon used as air freshening constituent. Oil containing carbon used in aromatherapy to alleviate stress and promote better sleeping. Also stimulate appetite, boosting respiratory system. Topically used to improve circulation and also used systemically to relieve digestive complaints. Metabolism of carbon will produce carbonic acid in human. Another ketone is menthone, present in peppermint, geranium oils. Used in perfume industry and cosmetic preparation. Used also in synthesis of artificial essential oil components as thymol and menthol. Reduction of menthone into menthol and oxidation into thymol. Disphenol monoterpene monocyclic ketone exists in Bocco volatile oil, also known as Bocco camphor. Isolated from Bocco oil by cooling the oil to -20, where disphenol crystals are separated and collected, or fraction distillation of the oil, collecting the fraction between 109 to 110, from which disphenol crystals separated by cooling to -20. As phenol has acidic character, so disphenol can be extracted from the oil by shaking with dilute alkaline reagent. Then the aqueous layer acidified to liberate disphenol, which is extracted with ether, and the ether is cooled to -20 to separate crystals of disphenol. Disphenol has diuretic and urinary tract antiseptic activity, especially in cystitis. Also used in inflammatory condition of urinary tract and used in varicose vein, especially with hesperidine. Urinix and urocol as constituent or drugs for treatment urinary tract inflammation, and extracts or leaves of bocco prepared. The bicyclic monoterpene ketone with finchone. Finchone exists in fennel and caraway oil, isolated by fractional distillation of caraway oil, collecting the fraction at 190 and 195, followed by treatment with concentrated nitric acid, followed by deep cooling to -20, where finchone crystals are separated. Finchone used in preparation of room sprays and bath preparation. Topically, it has counter-irritant activity used in counter-irritant mixtures, and also has urinary tract antiseptic and antispasmodic activity, easifying passage of kidney stones. The camphor bicyclic monoterpene ketone exists as white transparent waxy crystalline solid with a strong penetrating pungent odor, present in the woods of camphor laurel or Cinnamomum camphora, and prepared synthetically from turpentine oil. The chipped wood of cinnamon is subjected to steam distillation. The crude camphor is freed from the oil by centrifugation and finally sublimed and formed into cakes of pure camphor, all through reduction or preparation from alpha-pinene, treatment of HCl -10, followed by addition of hydrogen iodide to produce bornyl chloride, treatment with potassium hydroxide to produce borneol, oxidation of borneol will give camphor. Camphor used as moth repellent, also it has antimicrobial activity. Camphor is an ingredient in anti-itch gel. Also, it is readily absorbed through skin, producing cooling sensation similar to menthol, so can used as slight local anesthetic constituent. Also may be administered orally in small amounts of about 50 mg for minor heart symptoms and fatigue. Also used as flavoring agent in sweets. There is a preparation known as Nor camphor, in which the 3 methyl groups in camphor are replaced with hydrogen. We can differentiate between natural and synthetic camphor by treatment of the freshly prepared vanillin hydrochloride in 1% concentration, which will give yellow color at 30 degrees, changing into blue-green at 60 degrees, and finally into indigo blue at 75 degrees with natural camphor, while synthetic camphor will produce permanent yellow color. Also, the chloride test will identify synthetic camphor from natural camphor. Ether component of volatile oil is cineol, which is a monoterpene monocyclic ether. Exists in eucalyptus oil, sweet basil, rosemary, and sage volatile oils. Isolated by fractional distillation followed by freezing, or by treatment with phosphoric acid, where insoluble complex is formed and isolated. The eucalyptol phosphoric acid complex is then decomposed by addition of hot water and extracted with ether. Cineol used as flavoring agent, fragrance, and in cosmetic preparation. It has antibacterial and antifungal activity, used as expectorant and mucolytic in cough mixtures. It is an ingredient in mouthwash and cough suppressant for antimicrobial activity. Phenol reducing aggravation and dyspnea, improving lung function. As phenol controlling mucous membrane inflammation. Also has activity to kill leukemic cell. The peroxide constituted of volatile oil, example is ascaridole, peroxide constituent, isolated by fractional distillation from chenopodium oil or the Mexican tea oil, collecting the fraction at 95 to 98. Ascaridole has anthelmintic activity controlling nematodes. And thank you.